Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh. Welcome back to Your Brain on Air. I am Ollie Vogt Larson. I'm so pleased to be with you all today. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. No, I shouldn't say happy. It's October 7th, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get to that later. That'll be one of our primary things that we're going to cover, but happy Tuesday regardless. It was a Tuesday. I just realized that shit. That's not good. Anyways, I hope that you're all doing well. Welcome back. I am ready to get into today's news with you. Quite frankly, there's a little bit to cover here and there. I'm more so worried about the news that may develop over the day due to the fact that today is October 7th and, CIA and such has reported that there is potentially, there is an increased chance of something happening this October 7th on United States shores, in the sense of, 9/11. I'm not trying to, panic anyone, but this is, it's, something that you gotta think about these days, you know what I mean? October 7th, you haven't had anything, 2 years ago, the attack happened, as everybody is familiar with the Hamas and Israel situation. But people have been warning that apparently, in regards to if the United States needs to worry because of our involvement in the Middle East, people have been saying things here and there. I'm not saying that whatever. I am just, worried as any American would be. But I'm hoping for the best, and I truly, for my country, hope that nothing bad happens, because that's just how things go. You know what I mean? We can only do that. We can only hope for the best. But speaking of our country, the government shutdown fuels airport delays at several United States airports. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you we would start to feel it, and guess what? I'm wrong sometimes, but I wasn't wrong in this instance. The United States government shutdown has caused significant staffing issues at airports, as essential workers like TSA and air traffic controllers are required to work without pay. This has led to an increase in sick calls and unscheduled absences, leaving some control towers temporarily unmanned and forcing remote flight management. That's never an ideal situation. My fiance, shout out, she's probably listening, has a grandma who is actually, she retired recently, but she was working at some level in the air traffic control, situation. I've heard it's not the easiest position. I'm guessing, though, based on the level of stress I've heard that comes with the job, you need the entire place to be staffed in order for any airport to be taking anybody in. That's just my assumption from the stories that I've heard. Anyways, major airports are experiencing longer security lines and flight delays due to reduced staffing and overextended shifts. The financial strain on unpaid workers is also raising concerns about long-term disruptions if the shutdown continues. As a matter of fact, we have a clip from today. Let's go to that.
Far from Washington, the government shutdown is now rippling into air traffic control towers in Newark, in Denver, and in Phoenix. Long delays due to staffing yesterday, according to the FAA. In Burbank, the air traffic control tower left completely unmanned overnight for roughly 6 hours.
Okay, alright. Unmanned. So that means that, there's nobody there. So if you're flying into Burbank yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, I would just, if you're heading towards that city in a Boeing 747, the best thing I can suggest you do is say a prayer, because there's no chance for you making it into that city, unless air traffic control, the tower's empty, but you still got that guy down on the thing with those lights, going fucking over here. Maybe he was able to guide all the planes. If so, he's going to have to get a major raise when the whole paying our workers comes back. When that whole thing comes back, the idea of paying people. All right, anyways.
Closing down the tower. Is it because of the shutdown that you guys are doing? It's for staffing. Burbank tower's closed.
Burbank Tower's closed. They're like, is it because of staffing? And he's like, no, it's just, we're closing.
Controllers in San Diego took over for Burbank, but the delays remained. California Governor Gavin Newsom blaming the president online, while in Washington, partisan fighting continues, with Republicans blaming Democrats for the shutdown.
The Democrats are the ones that started this.
As workers across the federal government, including air traffic controllers, go without pay. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says there's
Sean
been a
Duffy.
slight
Sean Duffy, ladies and gentlemen, that is our current Secretary of Transportation. I'm gonna say it right here, right now. I miss the mayor of South Bend. I miss Gay Pete. Gay Pete, he made me feel comfy in that position. I understand that he took, listen, I know he didn't work. I know he didn't do anything. I'm just kidding. I'm doing that thing where Republicans were like, oh, he took paternity leave, so he should die or whatever. Like, that's what people are saying, at least. That's what they said back then. But I liked him. I liked his energy. I hated the beard when he tried it. Pete, I think that the beard needs to go if you ever want to be any sort of presidential candidate, anything meaningful. Don't do the J.D. Vance thing. It only works for him because his face is too fat. His face is too fat, and the only reason that he ran and won that campaign was because of Peter Thiel pouring $12 million, I believe it was, into his campaign. I want to make sure that I'm getting that 100% right. How much did Peter Thiel donate to J.D. Vance? Let's just figure this out because I want to know. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen. If anybody, yep, there we go. Palantir co-founder spent almost $15 million helping J.D. Vance win his U.S. Senate seat. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the technocratic candidate. That's exactly why I'm a little suspect, even though your movie was good, even though Hillbilly Elegy itself is a good movie. I don't trust this man as far as I could throw him, and I probably couldn't throw him, A, because I don't think that I could pick him up. Not because he's fat, because I'm weak, but two, he is fat. Like, he's kind of fat. He's on the fat. He's American skinny, which is kind of like, he's pudgy. He's fatter, but nobody, in this country notices because it's like we all eat biscuits every day. So that's literally what he does. He eats biscuit. He the one thing that he's ever done that was candid was he made biscuits with his daughter one time. That was the one candid thing in his life he's ever done. I'm gonna pull it up right now. J.D. Vance makes biscuits. I don't like the way that biscuit is spelled, by the way. It's spelled biscuit. Does that bother anybody else?
Learned to make biscuits because I feel like biscuit making is a lost art.
Yes.
And I think that every American family should have a good biscuit on their table.
Bro, the music, I'm sorry, it makes you so hard to hear. He thinks that every American should have biscuits on their table. His daughter can't focus. I think she's got ADHD or something. His wife must have taken Tylenol.
During Christmas dinner, Mirabelle here is going to help me.
Her name's Mirabelle?
Sous chef. We're going to start with 2 cups of flour here.
Notice that he chose the whitest of his children.
My great-grandmother, Mama Bland, taught me.
Mama, I remember her from the movie. Glenn Close played her great.
So we have a frozen stick of butter.
His All for Cincy, the Cincinnati shirt. And then his, what is it? What is his daughter's shirt? It's Evie. It's like an Evie. Oh, I thought it said Forever, but it says Evie. Okay, it's just in a weird font.
Here that I'm actually going to grate with a cheese grater.
What
2
the
scoops
fuck?
of sugar into the flour.
Anyways, this doesn't matter. I'll leave the link in the description because this does matter to some extent. If you guys want any good recipes, apparently J.D. Vance is the guy to hit up. He grates the butter. He has it cold, he has a stick of butter and it's cold, and then he grates it. He uses a grater, a cheese grater, and then it gets, anyways. This does not matter. Bad Bunny sees backlash among the outrageous claims that a Spaniard is gonna be headlining the Super Bowl. What? A Spaniard, when the NFL announced that Bad Bunny as the headliner for Super Bowl LX, February 8th, 2026, it is set for it set off a firestorm of cultural and political backlash because Bad Bunny, as a Puerto Rican artist who often sings in Spanish and has been vocal about immigration and his Latino identity, became a flashpoint. Conservative figures quickly pounced. Ooh, The Guardian says. Well, all right, so I don't know who Bad Bunny is. Is that bad of me? I think that it is. I'm clearly not as bad as him. He's earned the title of Bad Bunny. Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, also known as professionally as Bad Bunny, is a Puerto Rican rapper, singer, known for what? He's dubbed the king of Latin rap. Okay, good for him. So he's 31. Damn, he's young. He is really young. Okay, he did Monaco, Mi Puerto Bonito. I'm sorry that my Spanish accent's terrible. It's very white. Ojitos lindos. Geez. Okay, so I've never heard any of this music. I wish that I knew who this person was. But thankfully for me, I'm not a sports fan, so I generally don't watch the Super Bowl. What's it called about it? I tune in for the parts that, don't really matter. The commercials are sometimes entertaining. Half the time they're not. Half the time you have Larry David pushing some crypto scam. And then it's also like a puppy monkey baby stupid piece of shit meme where it's just corporate garbage that they want to catch on dramatic. Like, it's just, I'm good. No, thank you. So, one of the biggest controversies centers on comments from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who said ICE agents will be all over the event and suggested that the only law-abiding Americans would be able to attend. That statement was widely interpreted as a threat to undocumented attendees who could face immigration enforcement simply by attending the show. Which, by the way, I guess if you want to, convey a message that you are a force to be feared, if you want to convey that, like, hey, bring your papers or don't come. Bring your papers or don't come, because you expect to be hassled. If your name is anything that is vaguely ethnic, we're going to make sure that you're getting patted down. In response, Bad Bunny used the October 4th, 2025 SNL season premiere to address the criticism head on. With biting humor, he quipped, "I think everyone is happy about it, even Fox News," as clips of conservative media were edited to say, "Bad Bunny is my favorite musician." He framed the halftime announcement as a win for Latinos, saying the performance honors and the contributions and identity of his community. In Spanish, he declared that no one can erase his people's legacy, then joked in English, "If you didn't understand what I just said, you have 4 months to learn." Yeah, I'm not offended by that, as even a person whose Spanish is elementary. I'm not offended by a guy doing a joke where it's like, hey, if you didn't understand what I just said, you got 4 months to learn. That was obviously a very good way to bait, anybody who vaguely doesn't enjoy the Spanish shit. I get it, sure. I do think there is an element of, like, critics, especially from the MAGA sphere, have attacked his selection on the grounds of ranging from his political statements and his Spanish lyrics, where they just don't, they're questioning whether he represents America. Some, like Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, called his performance perverse and attempted to link it to pushing their own English language agenda. Okay, cool. Others, including President Trump, slammed the NFL's decision as crazy and criticized Bad Bunny's style and prominence. The tension underscores much more than just the halftime show. It has ignited debates over identity and inclusion and immigration enforcement in one of America's biggest cultural stages. Crazy, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I see the struggle here where people go, I don't like Spanish people and I don't want to see them on the stage. And I'm like, listen, as a Spanish person, where my grandma was immigrant from Panama, I got sick of her too once in a while. Like, I get it. But, you gotta listen. I'm learning Spanish as like a way of inclusion. I understand that inclusion is not your favorite. You don't have to learn Spanish, whatever. This is obviously, listen, okay, the MAGA crowd is upset. The right is upset because he's Spanish and because of immigration. The left is upset because, they want just someone on their side, to represent them on the stage. I get that, and I totally see that. Or at least you want someone on your stage who believes in the same things as you, or raps or sings, if anything, about the same things that you can relate to on the left. You know what? I believe I have an artist and a song that can satisfy both sides of the aisle. This is relatively a new, famous song that I feel appeals to both hardcore country MAGA fans and the left-leaning lighten their loafers crowd. This will be the new anthem of the United States this Super Bowl Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. If you're younger, you may have heard it before, but don't spoil it for the older viewers. Let's go ahead and just roll the clip, and you'll see exactly what I mean. There we go.
I hate my fucking boss, and I hate my fucking job. I hate my dumb ex-wife. and her stupid boyfriend Kyle. I hate all other countries and I hate when people talk, but boy do I love being home alone and jerking off. I jerk off all the time, I jerk off every day, I jerk off every night in my jacked up Chevrolet. I jerk off when I'm sleeping and I jerk when I'm awake. And boy, I love to walk down busy streets and masturbate. I jerk off on the couch, I'm jerking off right now. I jerk off to the thought of jerking off and on the cow. I'm deputy a ding dong, drumming, triple gripping, tater tugging, king of cranking off my junk, and that's the only thing I love. In my dirty muddy pickup, driving bumpy with my dick up, busting all up in my dick up. I'm the boss of being bricked up, blister knuckles. I won't quit, I'm busting knuckles.
Boss of being bricked up.
Tipsy twister jerking off is why I live. I'm the big rig bone rubbing sock stain stroke loving wizard of the wiener. Jerking off is all I need. I jerk off all the time. I jerk off every
Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the move. I understand that people may go, this is a little much. I think that this can appeal to everybody. I think that this can make us come together as a country. Literally come together as a country. Moving on. Thank you very much for the song, buddy. Actually, I'll let you finish out while I hit this blinker. All right. Moving on. Israel, Hamas, October 7th, 2-year anniversary. Many commemorate. Some few celebrate. Ladies and gentlemen, on October 7th, 2025, Israelis and much of the world mark the second anniversary of the Hamas terror attack as of that occurred on October 7th, 2023, in which roughly 1,200 Israelis were killed and 251 people were abducted. Memorial ceremonies happened in southern communities at Reim, is it Reim? Site of the Nova Music Festival attack. I'm pretty sure it's Reim. And a major rally in Tel Aviv called for the return of hostages. Deep divisions over Israeli leadership were evident as some ceremonies were organized by bereaved families apart from official government events. So they were like, I think we're good. We don't need to be represented by Benjamin Netanyahu this time. I think we're good on the whole, we're good on being represented by y'all. I totally get that. His grimace, his weird Pittsburgh accent that he has, along with his Jesus spoke Hebrew, and then the Pope has to go Aramaic, and then he's like, oh yes, I can't gaslight you. On the diplomatic front, indirect talks mediated in Egypt resumed. Hamas seeks a lasting ceasefire and the release of captives, while Israel demands disarmament and border security guarantees, as we've already reviewed. Meanwhile, the humanitarian toll has grown dire. More than 67,000 Palestinians have died over the course of the war, according to Gaza health authorities. Mass displacement continues, famine conditions are widespread, and accusations of war crimes and even genocide have drawn international scrutiny. So, as for the prospect of similar onslaught happening in the United States today, analysts consider it very unlikely in general. This is something that I think that we have to worry about, but apparently, according to a lot of experts, the possibility of an attack on the scale and the style of October 7th in Israel could be replicated in the United States, largely because of the differences in geography, border control, intelligence services, and diplomatic capacity. So, they say that it's very unlikely that something of that scale could occur in the United States on our shores, but that's exactly what we said on 9/11. It's exactly what we said. Listen, we can have air marshals, we can have people on planes. I apologize for any noise. There's some street cars that are scrubbing the roads outside of my apartment building. Still, anyways, you think that we, just because we've integrated TSA and we have air marshals, we have cockpit blast doors, that the terrorists can't find new ways to hurt us? You think that there's anything preventing them from finding a new way to hide something in their shoe? You think there's any way of preventing them from finding a way of building bombs out of something that can't be detected and then surgically implanting them in people? You know what I mean? Like, the whole point of security is we don't know how the next thing is going to happen. That's exactly how they get us with anything. It's like they have to catch us off guard, and they have to catch us in a way where we would think, well, no one would ever do that. No one would ever fly planes into the side of a building. No one would ever do that. No one would ever think to do that. That was not heard of before this. You know what I mean? That is still. The ideological impact of the attack has elevated terror-level threats. FBI Director Christopher Wray has warned that Hamas's actions could inspire extremist groups to carry out attacks in the United States, even though there's no public evidence that Hamas itself has the capability or intent to strike on United States soil. The United States intelligence also sees an increased risk for sympathetic actors or lone wolf militants who may latch on to the October 7th narrative, especially during the anniversary of the dates or periods of heightened tension. That said, any credible large-scale plot would still likely require detection. Well in advance by the United States counterterrorism, intelligence, and law enforcement agencies, and they remain on heightened alert, particularly around symbolic dates. So, I'm going to be honest with you guys. The idea of a public official or the CIA genuinely divulging to the public the actual likelihood of a terrorist attack is very low. There's no way that if there is an increased likelihood of an attack, that they would ever let us know. There's no possible, think of anywhere, because then immediately you give away that you're knowledgeable, you give away that you have inside roots into those terrorist networks. You give away the fact that, and then guess what? You may have given away your mole. You know what I mean? When does it ever help them to share anything with us? Never. So never trust anything that's coming directly from the source. Always make sure that you're doing your own looking into this, because let's be honest, anything the FBI or CIA tells you publicly is likely bullshit. The terrorists were already in the country for 9/11 for months prior to the attack. And the intelligence agencies had individual knowledge that confirmed this, and they didn't share it among each other. They didn't share it among the agencies that would have required this knowledge. That whole thing where agencies are pseudo-enemies, where the FBI and the CIA don't really work together or share data unless forced, is still very much the case in Washington. The borders are open. Listen, I'm not trying to sound like a whatever Republican, but in the sense of, like, it's hard for foreign nationals to get into the country, for foreign people to get into the country, overstay their visas. It's not difficult. The borders are in every regard open. Al-Qaeda has terrorist cells in the United States as we speak. I'm sorry to say it, they are likely neighbors. They could be people in, like, major metropolitan areas. There are at least 1,400, at least at the last genuine assumed count. They're ready to do something. We just don't know when. But ladies and gentlemen, maybe, I'm just saying that in regard to keeping our national security in mind, I think that it's important for us to consider the threat, for us to go, things could get spooky. And I mean on a national scale. Like attacks on the power grid, there could be a world where you're not able to charge your phone. Major news outlets could not be able to broadcast. Your phone is not going to be able to work. It's not going to be able to connect to the satellites. We could be in a whole heap of shit in the sense of, like, get canned food, store water, or like move to a body of it and then get a filter system ready. It's time to get a bag. If you live in a city, it's time to get a go bag ready just in case things get shaky. And I mean, government needs to restore order by any means necessary. Shaky. Louisiana after Katrina, when the police were looting. Shaky. As a matter of fact, this actually leads into our final story pretty decently. Project Bluebeam is probably on its way. They're getting brazen about the UAP and UFO discussion. So if anybody doesn't actually know, the United States' government stance on unidentified aerial phenomenon has evolved significantly in recent years. The All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, the AARO, established in 2022, has been at the forefront of investigating UAPs. In March 2024, the AARO released a comprehensive report examining nearly 80 years of UAP data. The findings concluded that there is no verifiable evidence that any UAP sighting represents extraterrestrial activity, or that the United United States government or private industry has ever had access to technology of non-human origin. Of course, we know this report that also dismissed claims of reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology, attributing such beliefs to misinterpretations and a lack of empirical evidence. That's from the United States Department of War. We know that this is bullshit once again. We know that it doesn't matter. Listen, it doesn't matter if it's the Biden administration telling you this. It doesn't matter if it's the Trump administration telling you this. It's the feds. They're set to lie to you. They always have been. Despite these official conclusions, public interest in UAPs remains high. In March 2025, a documentary called The Age of Disclosure premiered on SW, featuring interviews with former military and intelligence officials who claim that the United States has been secretly reverse engineering alien technology since 1947. These assertions, however, were not substantiated by verifiable evidence and contracted with the AARO's findings. This is according to Washington Post. According to regard to public interest with individuals like Michael, a businessman with defense sector ties, planning to share firsthand accounts of UAP encounters and interactions with congressional committees and AARO, scheduled for AMA on October 13th. This is coming up real soon, guys. Michael claims that to have acquired physical materials and data related to UAPs, which he has provided to the authorities. So, his upcoming appearance aims to offer clarity on his experiences. Additionally, scientific endeavors to understand UAPs are underway. The Galileo project, for instance, is developing all-sky infrared camera array to monitor aerial phenomenon. In regards to this fucking, what's it called? I want to make sure I get the name of this meteor correct. 3I? Meteor 3I Atlas. Guys, this is, they're going to tell you that this is nothing. This comet 3I Atlas, the third known interstellar object detected in our solar system, discovered by Atlas, surveyed in July 2025. It's a peculiar comet, and it's currently traveling towards the sun, and it's reaching its closest point to us around October 30th. These new images coming out of it are looking like nothing that we've seen before. They're looking like these unearthly objects. I'll include something in the description. I'll include a link to an article in regards to photos where you can actually see it. We'll figure it out. Anyways, while the United States maintains there's no evidence of extraterrestrial technology, the combination of official reports, public interest, and scientific investigations keeps the topic in the public eye. Regardless of whatever these guys want, it'll only be a matter of time before they, by the way, start reaching for it to distract us from other shit they have going on. Ladies and gentlemen, it'll be only a matter of time before they will confirm for us that the Greys are real, that they're from Zeta, that they have been here since Roswell, that they need anything to keep the conversation off of actual policy and Epstein, as many people love to point out. Let's keep this real short, and I'm going to consider this as a minor for your consideration. Let's keep this real short, ladies and gentlemen. In short order, here's a brief rundown of what will eventually come out that we've known for decades. The majority of the deal was made after the defeat of the Nazis. The ETs realized that the Germans were not the force to be investing in. After the split of the atom on United States shores, they fly over to Antarctica and they meet with American forces, essentially granting us their advanced technology, previously promised to Hitler's Germany until their defeat. This is like the master failing to see that his protege is good. He's like, fuck you, I'm just going to go to somebody else. They say, look, we'll begin working with your military. We'll allow us to abduct at least 400 to 1,000 of your own citizens every year. This will be covered up by national park disappearances, kidnappings, and the homeless. The Greys have been serving the idea of interdimensional travel and transcendence as the nugget, the little carrot on the stick to keep our scientists hooked. They see these beings via drug use like DMT to interface with deeper layers of reality. These are like the clockwork elves everybody talks about. They are tuned into a layer of being we can all tap into via psychedelics and mind-bending substances. Eventually, the promise of eternal life is served to them via abandonment of our earthly vessels and subsuming into the technocratic silicon future where humans cease to exist entirely. And it's intended, instead of our world being manipulated by humans, it's manipulated by consciousnesses trapped in computerized shells. This is highly advanced plan stuff. This will take decades to reveal eventually, but they're going to reveal it little by little. They're going to be like, oh, this file was found here. Oh, we've had this technology since the 50s, actually. We're going to be able to do projections. We're going to be able to do all of this stuff. We're going to be able to put out a highly believable, maybe rapture event that'll scare everybody into thinking that the world is actually ending. It's either Ghislaine Maxwell, we're going to have to talk about her trafficking to her real clientele, or aliens have been influencing our grander political scheme in America effectively since the 1940s, sealing their presence among us with Roswell when they allowed us to take apart one of their crafts and dissect one of their peoples. People, look into it. Don't trust me, I'm just some nut. As a matter of fact, this nut thinks that we should leave it at that, because this has been a solid half hour of your time and I don't want to take up any more of it. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for attending this time with me. I really appreciate you giving me even this little bit of your time. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. This has been your Brain on Air with Ollie Vogt Larson. Thank you so much for listening, and this is literally all I have left. Bye-bye.